Hello everyone, this is Stephen Balch, your instructor for Introduction to Macroeconomics at Ozarka College. Today what I'd like to do is give you just a little bit of feedback on the chapters 13 and 14 activities that I finished grading earlier this week. And then I'm going to tell you what we've got coming up for chapters 15 and 16 after spring break. Okay, so first thing is, like I said, I did finish grading the chapters 13 and 14 activities. I believe they were graded Monday. So hopefully you've already gone in and looked at your grades for those activities and read the grading comments. If you haven't done that, go ahead and do that as soon as you can. And let me know if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. Most of you did well on the chapters 13 and 14 activities. So keep up the good work on that. There were a few of you who, on the assignment, you kind of ran out of time and you just had to try to get as much done as you could. Of course, the way to fix that problem in the future is to get started earlier on your activities so that you don't run out of time. But other than that, like I said, most of you did well, so keep up the good work on that. The chapters 13 and 14 discussion that we had that dealt with coordination failures in the labor market, I thought that went very well. I really appreciate everyone's participation. I really enjoyed reading everyone's comments. Hopefully you learned something from that, how to actually apply what we're learning about as far as concepts in the chapters of the textbook and apply it to a real world scenario. And like I said, most of you did well on that, so I was really pleased with that. On the test, the chapter test, just remember you can take those tests as many times as you want to up until the due date, and your highest grade is automatically recorded. All right. All right, so that brings us to our next set of activities. So if we go to the activities page in my Ozarka, right now we are on the middle of week 10 of this semester. So we're about getting close to 2/3 of the way done through the semester. So we just really don't have that much more time this semester. But week 10, of course, we just had work due Sunday, and so there's nothing else due this week. And I purposely didn't make anything due during spring break to kind of allow you to enjoy your spring break. But you need to keep in mind that the next set of activities is due as soon as we get back after spring break, specifically Monday, March 30th, which is the Monday after spring break. So if you don't want to be working on these activities during spring break, I would recommend going ahead and working on these activities the rest of this week, so that you don't have to spend your spring break working on these activities. Okay, so you've got the chapters 15 and 16 assignment, test, and discussion, again, all due by Monday, March 30th. Let me tell you a little bit about what we're going to be covering in chapters 15 and 16. Starting with chapter 15, we're going to be looking at money and the financial system. So you're going to learn about the functions of and the properties of money. You'll look at the banking system, how it works. And then finally, towards the end of chapter 15, we'll look at the Federal Reserve and its role in fiscal policy and monetary policy. Okay? And also in the financial system. Chapter 16, we're going to look at the banking. We're going to look at banking and the money supply. So in this chapter, you're going to learn about two categories of money. There's one category called M1 money that is highly liquid. In other words, you can convert it to cash very quickly. And then there's another category called M2 money, which takes longer to turn into cash. Okay, so you're going to learn about both of those categories of money, and you'll also look at how banks work, how banks create money, and the tools that the Federal Reserve uses to regulate and manage the money supply. All right? And so be working on chapters 15 and 16. And as you're working, just let me know if you have questions. Make sure you're using the resources that are provided. You know, the video links, the PowerPoint slides, of course, your textbook. There are a few of you that I suspect are relying way too much on AI to complete the activities for this class. You really want to make sure that you're using the resources that are provided, okay? So like I said, just let me know if you have questions, and that's all I have for you for today. So enjoy the rest of your week, your weekend, enjoy spring break. It's supposed to be nice weather, so get out and enjoy it, and I will talk to you again sometime after spring break. Thank you.